We have showed off a multitude of the Tensura units already, and so far a lot of them have been pretty good. Of course, some better than others, but that's to be expected. However, in this showcase today, I think we may be showing off the worst one from this crossover. And who might that unit be, ladies and gentlemen? That will be none other than the one and only Santa Milim. I'm gonna try to tell you some highs with Santa Milim and a lot of lows with Santa Milim. First and foremost, what is Santa Milim's entire game plan? What's her gimmick? Kind of how she's going to be fitting in roles? And the best way to think about Santa Milim is to think about her in a similar sense as a character like Mitsuya, for an example. They're usually going to be the last unit that you put on a team, and you're putting it on there to get some type of benefit, whether that be crit chance or more attack or more art gauge, more damage, maybe a defensive buff, whatever the case may be. At least that's how I see Santa Milim in my eyes, but I could also see an argument where you could say Santa Milim could be used as more so a nuker slash damage dealer, since her passives kind of relate to that more, which also leads to me saying that this girl somewhat has an identity crisis because she doesn't know what she really wants to be. First and foremost, we have Demon Lord the Holy Knight. This increases the duration of your arts and your true arts by 1.5 times when your HP is 50% or more. We have Fatal Blow level 4. This gives you more crit damage. And then we have Eliminate level 2, which gives you more damage when the enemy's HP is under 30%. In terms of her kit, we have a skill that gives her 20 art gauge. Mind you, this is on a 15-second cooldown, and this does no damage. On the art, you're able to reduce the enemy's fire resist by 30%, and then with the true art, you have a 60k multiplier. You're able to give your team crit rate, and you're also able to give your team 3 arts for 10 seconds. And next, we have her equips, which are a 5-star physical, 5-star heal, and a 4-star defense. For 5-star physical, I would just say go with something that gives you a lot of art gauge, something like Harusame or Chuizanagi. 5-star heal, I would recommend something that gives you a really strong burst heal plus overtime heal. Think of stuff like Fina Devil Wings or Demonic Wing Globe, or something that's able to give you a cleanse like Keratos. And 4-star defense, it's very situational. Whatever you're fighting, you're going to be wanting to counter that damage type, whether that be physical, magic, dark, earth, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're always countering that damage type with the defense slot that you have on the team. Or if you want more damage, of course, you could also just opt in for Dola armor, since it does give you that 15% AoE attack buff to the team. What type of crest would I recommend on this girl? I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm thinking attack up and art gauge up. I could see some people say equipment CT, but her equips aren't really something that I'm going to be wanting off cooldown 24/7. If she had a 5-star support slot, then maybe I would opt in for equipment CT, but yeah, I'm going to say attack up and art gauge up are going to be probably her best 2 things. Let's do a thing that we always got to do, ladies and gentlemen. The animations. We have the attack animation, little party popper there. I like it. Looks kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Something different. We have the skill here, which is just her eating a piece of candy, and that's it. I actually did click this a few times to see if it would change. Maybe she was able to pull something else out of the bag apart from just the same candy. It'd be cool if that was like attention to detail or something, or she could pull out like different colored candy or whatever. But unfortunately, that just doesn't happen in the skill. And we have the art here, which the art, Jingle Bells. I like it. Looks kind of neat. And then we have the true art here, which this takes a very long time, more so the initial startup here, and from what I assume is going to be when the damage comes in. So as you see here, she jumps up in the air, and watch, she's up in the air for like 2 seconds pretty much, and then she comes back down and she slams with the boot and then eats and everything. I don't think it's that bad in terms of like if you were wanting it for nuking or whatever, but still kind of on the slower end. In terms of how I'm liking this character's animations, I think that it's about the same as the others. I would say about a 7, maybe an 8. Nothing really spectacular, but does have some flair. Does go with, you know, her being a seasonal unit, so it's alright. So it's actually the first team that I'm going to be trying her out in. I may try her out in a nuke just to see how it goes, but the whole game plan with this team is just buff up Hal, get Hal to do big damage, have Rimuru here for the cleanse, and then have Santa Milim for some crit rate, and then of course Haruto for the heals and the arts damage. With Santa Milim in this fight, I don't think she's going to be doing like too much. At least in terms of like arch-genning and stuff like that. She may actually be pretty beneficial here, but the thing is that her arch-gen, I think, is going to overlap with Rimuru's arch-gen, if I'm not mistaken, because they should be in the same arch-gen type, unfortunately. But the good news is that with the crit rate, it's going to be somewhat useful because we're already bursting through most of his HP, and we're probably about to kill very soon here. And so far, I mean, there's not really much else to say. I don't know how much damage she's doing, and I think she's doing a lot, but I think most of this is house damage. I mean, it was all right? I mean, it was all right. It was some slight, I guess. It didn't feel bad using her. It just felt like I didn't need her. It felt like I could use another character for trying to fulfill that role, which is, I think, the unfortunate circumstance that Christmas Milim actually has. And look at that, she actually dealt the most damage in that one, which, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if she does deal the most damage most of the time because she does have the Eliminate passive and she has Fatal Blow, so she's able to have the extra crit damage. Kind of having an identity crisis because she's more of a damage dealer than a supporter, which now has got me curious, and I want to see how well she does in a nuke comp, which does kind of suck because her equips aren't good for nuking. Like, they're actually atrocious for nuking. That's the nuke team we got here. Melty for some extra damage, Hal for the fire resist down, Draken here for the physical damage buff on top of the physical res down, and hopefully we have enough Archgen. I think I will be switching out Demonic Wicked Globe here for Athena Devil Wings just for some extra attack. Then I'm going to switch out the 5-star physical for something that's going to give me more damage like Scissors Blade Decap mode. And the 4-star defense will become Dola Armor because I want more attack. I think this is going to work pretty well. I see this doing quite a bit of damage to Val's and Death, but the question is how much? Maybe I should have delayed everyone to like True Arts and stuff before we got like everything going. And I mean, you know, you see a big chunk right there. Of course, that wasn't death, unfortunately, but still, I'm curious to see how much damage that actually dealt. Because I do want to say most of that was maybe sent to Milim. Either way, let's see who dealt the most damage. It won't be completely accurate, of course, because it wasn't a one-shot, but it would be pretty decent. Sent to Milim with 5.7 million. I mean, that's good, right? Definitely solid. It's just, I don't know. Something about this character just feels off to me. I don't know if it's the slots. I don't know if it's the animations. It could just be the kit. It just feels like I would be able to do more if I was using someone else, or if I was optimizing the team around another character. I don't think that she's like worst character in the game or anything, but she kind of falls under one of those characters where it's like, why bring her to the fight if I already have other characters that fill a similar role? Like if I need 100% crit buffer, then I could just use someone like Mikey or Vox or whoever. And personally, I just think that if you were going to make this character a damage dealer or kind of like a sub-attacker role, I think you should probably have just went harder on the True Art maybe. Like if you wanted to hyper optimize her as a damage dealer, then hyper optimize her as a damage dealer. Like why give her these kind of slots? You know what I mean? I think this character would be so good if this passive gave damage, or if it gave her more Archgen, and if this slot was maybe a 5-star physical, if they wanted to make her more of an attacker, or if they really want her to kind of fill more of that sub-attacker role, why didn't they at least give her like a 5-star support, or make this a 5-star defense and then give her a 4-star support down here or something, you know? It's just, she's a weird unit to me. I don't necessarily hate her, but I don't necessarily like her either. I think that if you got her and you invested into her, she would probably be somewhat useful to you for a little bit because she is 100% crit buffer, which I think is going to be the main benefit of using her. So yeah, she's just kind of off to me. Kind of weird. Either way, that is that. Solid character. I don't think she's as bad as I was originally thinking she was going to be, or how other people have told me. Is she the worst character from the crossover? I would say absolutely. Of course, we're not including Slime Maru here, but in terms of summonable units, I think Milim would definitely be the worst character. Unless you consider like damage dealers being like worst characters in terms of team viability, then I guess Shion might be considered the worst character, but I don't know. It's just, this character kind of lacks a focus. If it had a focus, I think I would like her more. Thank you all again for coming out, man. It's been your boy OP. If you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend check out either one of the videos popping on your screen right now. Great content, guarantee you'll love them. Also, another thing to mention too, we're going to be live streaming tomorrow at 3 p.m. CST. We're going to be doing some mines, so if you want to come and hang out in the mine stream, then by all means, make sure you're there. And oh yeah, one more thing before you leave. Don't forget to drink water.